But it's so LA. You know, as a super LA album cover. And it's probably the most gangster shit ever.
What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. So please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it, talk about it, be about it, each one, teach one. We appreciate your support and getting us this far. And speaking of support, if you haven't already, you could join Unique Access Entertainment. There's 3 different tiers there, and that helps us on a myriad of levels. Now, today, for cover story, we have the honor and the privilege of being joined by the D.O.C. Thanks for coming through, sir.
Hey, it's my pleasure, brother. Good talking to you.
Yes, sir. So we are going to do No One Can Do It Better by the D.O.C. His debut album, 1989. It's on Atlantic Records. And at this point, D.O.C.'s been involved intimately with, Feel the Fresh Crew's been on the N.W.A and the Posse. We've had Eazy-Duz-It come out. We've had Straight Outta Compton come out. And now it's time for your album. So the Eazy-Duz-It album is very dark and it's largely black and you can't really see everything in the photo. The Straight Outta Compton is the infamous gun looking up at everybody photo. And then for yours, it's very different from those other two. So how and why did you decide to do a more straight up look at you and have the King of Kings, Lord of Lords in the background?
So if you know the story, you get, but it's all in the documentary, bro. You gotta see it. But when my whole journey started with a prayer and everything, I recount the day that it happened and what I said. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And I was so sincere when I said it. And so 18 months, I make the prayer, and 18 months later, No One Can Do It Better is coming out. So I make that prayer, and during that 18 months, all those other things that you talked about happened. Now I'm thinking of the prayer when I'm riding with Eazy from Priority and see that statue leaving Hollywood. And in my mind's eye, that's going to be my album cover because I go back to the prayer. This is how I'm going to start sort of my ministry, for lack of a better way of putting it. Because I told G.O.D. that if you let me be the best that there is, I would tell everybody that you did it. It wasn't me, you know? And so it was me considering how I would live up to my part of the bargain, you know? Then the record came out, and I think I forgot about my part of it.
Well, that's too bad, but thankfully we got the album and you're making amends of that now. But also on the cover of No One Can Do It Better, you were wearing the African medallions, which of course was very big at the time, but much more so for the East Coast artist than someone from Dallas/LA. So what made you want to wear those on the album cover?
I'm gonna say it again, I'm an East Coast MC. That's what I am. Like I die hard for those days when MCing was MCing. It's a different thing today, you know, and that's great. But it was different in what they call the golden era. And so for me, I saw that there was an African lady at the back of one of Eazy's and N.W.A shows. And she had all these for sale. And she was from a group of people called the Mothers of the Universe, I think it was. And she gave me those 3 things and told me to wear them, you know, and that they had a special significance to them. So I did, you know. And I wanted to be, back in those days, that we were showing our affinity for ourselves, at least on the East Coast, with the medallions and uh, sort of the African movement was strong in hip hop from that side. And so I was just staying true to that.
Okay, gotcha. And then on the It's Funky Enough 12-inch, it's also like a close up with that same King of Kings, Lords of Lords in the background. Do you, I assume, or do you remember, did you just do that all in the same day, the same photo shoot, and you just use different things? Is that how that ended up happening?
The King of Kings and Lord of Lords is on the world. Yeah, we shot both of those shots the same day.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And both of those, and throughout the album, and a lot of your singles for this album, you had excuse me, you had the green, yellow, and red as well, tying into the African colors as well. So why visually did you do that strictly to tie into the medallions, or was that other things happen as well?
I didn't do any of that. Atlantic did all of that. Whoever was selling the record. But it was me. It was who I was. It was the direction that I, as an artist, as a human being, where I wanted to go with my persona and with my art was very Afrocentric. And in the Best of Us tradition, when we was great back then in rap, where songs like The Formula and Let the Bass Go were about pruning, and songs like Point of Expression is Advised, or Portrait of a Masterpiece, or about tap dancing. It's about art from when we were the great artists. At least that was the persona I was trying to define myself as an artist back then.
Well, that sounds also very spiritual in a lot of ways, and having the prayer with that level of spirituality as well. So it's one thing to have an idea tied to spirituality, but it's another thing to actually manifest it and say, that's my album cover. And then fast forward 18 months and then it is your album cover.
You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. So, and I tell folks all the time, bro, when I go out and do stuff, that I'm still living in that prayer, because it isn't until now that I got a chance to start telling people, that I got a chance to start kind of living up to my end of what I said I was going to do. So if there's the greatest, then it's gotta be me, because I prayed for it.
And what's the power that you realize of that manifesting itself back then and today?
Man, what? Come on, bro. See, that's where I'm at. That's what my thing is, right? It's realizing that we all we here, and our egos tell us we're doing all of these great things, but there are other forces at play that give us that favor, that give us those opportunities, and we should acknowledge that probably a lot more often.
Yeah, it's greater than us, as they say.
Yeah.
Now, that's the spiritual side of things, but looking back musically and for rap or for yourself or for Ruthless, however you want to look at it, what do you think is the legacy of the cover beyond the spiritual aspect of it, if there is one?
I don't know. It's great, but it's so LA. As a super LA album cover. And it's probably the most gangster shit ever, if you really think about it. And probably where we want these young men to go right now today. If you jump on that line, you're probably gonna win.
Well, speaking of the gangsterness of it, how did you decide which hat to wear? You got the Kings, you got the Raiders, you could have gone a couple different ways. Why'd you go the way you did?
Yeah, because I was the king, they the Raiders, I'm the king. That was an inside thing where I used to get angry with those guys because they would make me get out the way all the time when they was taking pictures and shit. Made me feel some kind of way, you know. And so I wanted to be resemble the crew, but to stand apart just a little bit. So where they had Raider gear in Compton, I put the Kings on.
You had to bow down to the Kings and Raiders hats.
Hey.
Well, there it is. Well, D.O.C, thanks so much for coming through the cover story, man. Anything else you want to add?
No, man, I'm blessed and highly favored. Grateful and thankful to you for having me, good brother. We love you down here in Dallas, and good luck to everything going forward.